CEO Ronald Hickling, creating the difference. Good morning. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic morning. Yesterday was the 4th of July, which was a good day. Hopefully you were able to have some good food and watch a little bit of fireworks. Obviously, today most people are going back to work, including myself. So we're looking forward to being able to take care of a few things that we pick up, obviously, over the week, the holiday, so to speak. We had a very, very powerful day yesterday, specifically with the staff group doing some really cool, unique things with them. And today we're going to pick up a lot of the pieces and keep that thing moving. But I wanted to jump on and give a little more insight. We've had a lot of people inquire about the clear, so I wanted to talk a little bit about it. We're actually probably going to end up shooting some more videos today, just kind of as a result of a lot of the questions that have been brought up. I appreciate the pre-orders. We've got a ton of pre-orders. We've had to actually go back and order more product. So definitely very, very excited about launching that product. Very, very excited about getting that product in the hands of the people that have pre-ordered it, and looking forward to being able to share a lot of stories of people that have bowling balls that have lost performance and then have been able to bring back the performance of their bowling ball using this product. We're really, really excited to be able to get that out to the field. We've been playing around with this product for more than 2 years, so we're really excited for people to be able to get it. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of just give you a little bit of insight on that product, a little bit more than what we've done a little bit in the past. So when we first started, we actually had a black bucket that we were using. And what we realized, if you look at the videos that we've shot so far, they're all with this black bucket. But what we realized was that a black bucket is actually the wrong color bucket to use, because you can't see any of the dirt that gets in the product. And that's key. Like, the key to being able to reuse this product over and over and over again is being able to keep it clean. So we actually went back to the manufacturer and was like, we can't, black bucket doesn't show any dirt, and if the ball's dirty, that's bad, or if the clear gets dirty, that's really bad for the product. So we need to get a different color bucket. So they ended up coming back with a translucent bucket, and you'll begin to see videos that we shoot with the clear using that translucent bucket and not the black bucket that we've done thus far. So I actually have it right here. You can see it's translucent, and it's got a nice little label on it. And this way, it's a little bit easier for you to be able to see the dirt if you get dirt in the clear. So I'm urging you to not let your clear get dirty. There's two things you can do to help that. One is use the absorption pad. We are including an absorption pad in the product because it's made to do that. Absorb all of the top layer stuff, which is plasticizer, oil, the stuff that kind of comes out of the ball that can actually hurt the ball. But it does not remove like sediment or dirt, which we have a whole process that you do prior to putting your ball into the clear that should stop the dirt from getting into that product to begin with. But if you don't follow it, or you get dirt into that product, then it's not going to be a good thing. So that's the first thing you can do, is just following the directions. And we've decided to make it a little bit easier this go around, and we're actually building like when you buy products and they have like that picture guide that shows you what to do. It's like the quick reference guide. Like a lot of times there's like an owner's manual, or there's a manual that's like 20 pages long or whatever. But then there's always like that little fold out thing that's like, a picture version of what you're supposed to do. So we're actually building that, and we're going to include that in so that you can get to using the product as fast as possible, but also in the appropriate manner, because it's very, very key that you follow the steps that we recommend that you use for this process so that you can get the maximum performance out of your bowling ball. The second thing I'm going to tell you is you want to make sure that you keep the clear stored in the container, which it comes in, which is this. You want to make sure you keep it stored in this and not in the bucket, and here's why. So a lot of times we actually do include a lid with the bucket, but the problem is people will leave it out, or they'll forget that it's just a bad deal. So the right move is just get the product back into the container that it comes in, the gallon container. And we realize that people may spill some of it, so we actually have given you about 25% extra material than what you're going to need for the bucket in case you spill it, because we understand that happens too. So those are two really big hints, two really big things, that recommendations that we're going to give you to be able to keeping your product clean. And if you can keep the clear clean, you'll be able to keep the maximum performance effect of that product on your bowling ball. And it actually is in your bowling ball. So it's one of those things where it's a very, very important thing that you do. If you do it, it will make the clear last incredibly long. We tell people, you can do 20 balls, but really you can even do longer than that, if long as you continue to use fresh, brand new absorbent pads and you keep it clean. This is not necessarily you're right, Sam, when you say that, it's not a ball company product, but we're not a ball company. We don't make bowling balls. We make products for bowlers to extend the life of their bowling balls. And this one in particular is one that was close home to me, because I have bowling balls that I loved, but they lost their performance. And a lot of times what people do is they say, okay, well, let's go to the pro shop, get the ball detoxed, get the ball revived, get the ball resurfaced, and then you're good to go. But that's not what happens. When you go through that process, you're not attacking all of the issues. I saw a comment last week where a guy was like, man, have this bowling ball, got 100 games on it, took it to the pro shop, had them revive it, had them resurface it. Ball doesn't roll good anymore. Doesn't roll like it used to. Anything else I can do? And I chimed in and was like, yeah, here's a product that will actually help. We actually are attacking the three causes of ball death, because it's not just oil absorption. That's only one of the components. So we're attacking all three, and we're making it so that you can do it at home. So I think, from our standpoint, it's the right thing to do, because if you have a bowling ball and the bowling ball lasts you longer, and you are able to get that bowling ball back, and you're able to get that bowling ball to perform at its peak, and you're able to have high scores, you're more likely to stay in bowling. People don't want to go spend $200, $250 on a bowling ball to only have it for 100 games and then have to go buy a new one. Nobody likes to do that. I don't think people like doing that, unless you just have lots of disposable money. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to kind of help address that. Like, we wanted to address that problem. I know, as a person who does buy bowling balls, that I don't like to go buy every bowling ball, and I don't like, and here's really the other component of that. If you have a bowling ball that you really like, and you try to go get a second one, more times than not, the second one isn't as good as the first one either. So this is a way just to kind of resolve that issue. And I'll tell you some of the other things that we're working on too, right? So we're going down a process now to see how long you can actually have a bowling ball if you continue to use this process. So we've started the testing process of taking a brand new bowling ball and wearing it out, fixing it, 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 to see exactly how long you can use to get the bowling ball before the bowling ball is no longer usable. I can tell you conceptually, the thing that will stop the bowling ball from being able to be used will probably end up being the fact that the bowling ball no longer is of size, because these things that we're doing to the bowling ball with the clear, specifically being able to put that tackifier into the bowling ball, being able to get the surface back, being able to resolve the oil absorption issue, that's consistent. Like, that consistently will happen over and over and over and over again. And we've done bowling balls at least 5 or 6 times now, which would equate to about 500 or 600 games. And that works. Like, that just continues to work. So what I'm curious to see, though, is what happens when we get to like 1,000 games, or when we get to like 1,200 games, because now the issue you can run into is a resurfacing issue in terms of getting the bowling ball to a super small size where it may not be legal. So that's kind of where we're at from that standpoint. The average consumer won't ever really run into that situation, because most of the times what happens is you have these bowling balls, they get wore out, and you just quit throwing them. So they don't continue to accumulate those games, because once they wear out, you're just done with it. So most people won't ever be able to see that. But I'm really, really looking forward to getting to that 1,200 game mark, to really show people, and then compare it to a new ball, because that's the key. You got to compare it back to a new ball. So to show people how effective this process really can be. And like I said, we're in a unique position because we support and like all the ball companies, but we don't make bowling balls, and we're not interested in bowling balls. So because of that, we're going to make products that we feel are going to help our consumers, our bowlers, be able to be better. And this is one of the products that can help allow consumers to do that. And We also have a pro shop version, believe it or not. We've got a version that we're building for pro shops to be able to do, because it's the same thing. Like, even a pro shop can leverage, if you have a detox specifically or a wave machine, you can leverage the tackifier effect to be able to improve the performance of a bowling ball. And we've done that in our shop for a long time. So we know that this process works. We know that it will work in a detox. What I like about this particular product for us specifically is you do not have to have heat. Heat is something that a lot of other companies like to use to pull out the oil. But you don't have to use heat at all with this product. It will work regardless, simply because reactive bowling balls will absorb whatever they're come in contact with. So we're actually wanting to get them to absorb something, and because of the material that we're using, we can actually still push the oil out. We can still push the plasticizer out of the bowling ball, but more importantly, we can deposit something in the bowling ball. And we're really looking forward to being able to show people the performance impact they can get. We're looking at people that have got bowling balls. I had a guy yesterday mentioned to me, he was like, man, I got this bowling ball. We think it's about, we thought it was about 15 years old. And he's like, I love this bowling ball. I still got it. I can't use it anymore because it doesn't perform. And I'm like, this is the product that's made for that bowling ball. Like, this is a perfect example. If you got a bowling ball that you liked, it's got to be reactive too. Like, don't get it twisted. It doesn't work on plastic. It doesn't work on urethane, because neither one of those balls can absorb any oil. It only works on reactive balls. But if you have any sort of performance reactive ball that that has lost performance over time, this is a way to bring it back. It's period point blank. It's made to attack all three things to get that bowling ball to come back. So there isn't going to be a more effective way to do it, because we are attacking three things, not just one. And a lot of times, like I said, a lot of systems really attack the oil absorption, because that's the one that everybody knows that can fill up the pores, and then the ball loses performance because of that. But that isn't the only one, for sure. So we're looking forward to being able to get this product out. Yeah, if you got a ball from the 60s, we're not going to be able to help you with that, bro. Like, that's not going to be able to help, Steven. Just because 60s bowling balls are more than likely rubber. So it doesn't work on rubber either. It's got to be a reactive bowling ball. So, but at the same token, if you think about it, like, bowling balls made in the 60s, they still last. Like, they still will roll. It's a rubber bowling ball. It didn't hook a whole lot necessarily back then. It won't hook a whole lot still now, but they didn't, like, lose performance. And really, if you want to be honest, urethane, people really never complained about urethane dying either. Like, nobody was like, oh man, I got this urethane bowling ball in the 80s. And it's like, oh man, I had this ball and it died. It lost performance. Nobody really said that back then. We really didn't experience ball death until we got to the 90s, and we got to reactive balls and particle balls. Those balls really started the whole ball death thing. And the reason why is because those balls absorb oil, and those balls have a surface morphology that is very tacky, and that tackiness can wear away. And these bowling balls have a propensity to change the surface very, very quickly. So those three things have led to the ball death phenomenon. And then I'll tell you something else that's kind of interesting when it comes to ball death too, actually. So manufacturers have kind of played a role in this component of it. So, like, when you're resurfacing a bowling ball at the consumer level, you have zero chance of doing it as similar to what the manufacturer does. So because of that, when the manufacturer puts a surface on the bowling ball, that surface is going to change fairly quickly. Once it changes, you can't get it back. So that also helps to contribute to the whole ball death phenomenon, because you can't repeat what you initially had. So one of the things that we tell people to do all the time is, man, you get a brand new ball, just go ahead and surface it with the last step that the manufacturer recommended by hand, or have your pro shop do it, so that at least it's repeatable. And you don't get in that situation where you get a brand new bowling ball, you love it, you bowl with it several sets, and then you're like, it doesn't roll like it used to, let me go put it back, because you can't. At least if you started out that way with the fresh surface, you can put that fresh surface back. I drilled a brand new bowling ball last week, and I drilled an IQ Emerald. And the first thing I did was I told John, the guy who drilled my bowling ball for me, I said, hey, take that ball down to 3,000 and hit it back up with the P5000 D-pad and do it on the spinner to get it to 5,000, because I want to throw that ball shiny at 5,000 grit, but I don't want to do it in a manner that we can't repeat. So that's what he did, and I was able to go bowl with it, and I like the ball. Ball rolls great. But if you don't do that, and you take the factory finish and you go bowl with it, and once that wears off, then the bowling ball's not going to be able to get back. It's just not going to be possible. So you just really got to think about those kind of things, and especially as these rule changes happen in about a little less than a month, surface is going to become a really, really important topic. If you understand surface, you're going to be able to understand how to manipulate your ball reaction. You're going to understand how to prepare your ball reaction before you even hit the lanes, because you can't alter the surface or alter the performance while you're bowling. So it's going to become really, really important that you understand surface and surface manipulation to be able to perform at a high level. Brad, the pre-orders are going to ship by August 1st. That's what we have said all along, that the pre-orders will ship August 1st. We are currently in the process of waiting for the material to show up. We actually had to order, like I said, we had to double our order because we sold through it so fast, but we will get them out by the 1st of August. So I wanted to kind of share that with you guys. Hopefully that's helped you a little bit if you didn't know. I would also tell you, a lot of people have been asking some questions regarding just general stuff, not necessarily about this product, but just general stuff. And I would encourage you to, if you don't already, to go follow me on YouTube, Ronald Hicklin on YouTube. I've got a channel there, and we've got probably, I don't know, 400 or 500 videos that are just all kinds of topics, not just necessarily about our products, but just about topics in general, things that can help you in general that have nothing to do with us specifically. But it's all in the light of trying to educate bowlers and trying to get bowlers to be more educated, because that's what it's going to take to have an advantage come August 1st. If you know information and you understand some things, you'll be able to be a better bowler, and you'll be able to have an advantage over people that don't have that information. So it's available, it's free, take advantage of it, because that's why we're doing it. So anyway, I'm going to jump off here. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day the rest of the day. And with that being said, I'm out of here. CEO Ronald from Creative Difference. Talk to you soon.